It's the Security Weekly News, and it's Friday, the 5th of December. It's minus 9 degrees. That's about 15 sunny degrees for our Fahrenheit-loving friends, so it must be wintertime, I guess. So, yeah. Today we've got toilet cams, North Korea, Brickstorm, MCP, India, React2Shell, Proxmox, Metaverse, Josh Marpet in a secret location, and more on the Security Weekly News.
This is a Security Weekly production for security professionals by security professionals. Please visit securityweekly.com/subscribe to subscribe to all the shows on our network.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's the show that keeps you up to date on the latest security news twice a week. Your trusted source for accurate security information and expert analysis. It's time for the Security Weekly News. Ransomware, supply chain attacks, 0 days. Cyber threats don't wait, and neither should your defenses. With ThreatLocker, you're not just reacting to threats, you're stopping them before they start. Our Zero Trust endpoint protection locks down your environment with pinpoint control over what's allowed to run and what's not. No guesswork, no blind spots, just proactive, built-for-now security that keeps your business moving. Want to see how a true default deny strategy works? Head over to securityweekly.com/threatlocker and take the first step towards shutting the door on threats before they even knock. Ever feel like your network infrastructure is stuck in the past? Meet Meter, the company reimagining what it means to get and stay online. Meter delivers full-stack networking, wired, wireless, and cellular, all in one seamless, scalable, and secure solution. From hardware design and firmware to software, deployment, and support, Meter streamlines every part of your network while giving you all the control and transparency you need. Whether you're managing a branch office, retail stores, or a massive data center, Meter gives you performance, reliability, and the visibility you need to stay in control. Thanks to Meter for sponsoring. Go to securityweekly.com/meter to book a demo now. That's securityweekly.com/meter, METER. All right, I'm Doug White, and it is the Security Weekly News. Hit that like, subscribe, and leave a comment button, or you will have to learn Celsius. If you already know Celsius and use it, well, I don't know. Elves will bring you chocolate on St. Virgil's Day, something like that. Whatever. Hey, can't get the job you want? Well, North Korea can help. I mean, I saw the story. I was like, oh, now it expands. Basically, I think all of us are familiar with the North Korean workers and their confederates here on the ground. So, North Korean workers want tech jobs to raise money for back home, dear leader. They're not allowed to do so, and they're also evil hackers. And so they hire somebody on the ground in the U.S. to receive the remote laptops and all that. Now, that's illegal, and people have been getting arrested. Now, this one, though, this new approach to it is just straight from the mafia. And that's the TV mafia, because I don't really know anything about the real mafia, except they do get good tables without reservations on Federal Hill and can park by fire hydrants. I've seen that part. So now what they do is they rent your identity. So you want Doug White for the fame and glory of having a celebrity professor on your staff? Yeah, I see you giggling in the back. You hire Doug White, international sex symbol and sexy Fortran programmer, to be your new chief engineer. But little did you know, I'm lazy, and I have outsourced the job to some other people so I can day drink by the company pool and still get the TPS report to Don Draper on time. So the North Koreans have been actively recruiting real engineers by offering them something like 25 to 35% of the salary for the duration of the contract. Call me. So the leader of this is named Famous Kalima, aka Wage Mole, which sounds a lot like a music act, like Famous Kalima featuring Pitbull tonight on All Night with Doug White. Cool cats, hot jazz, and cold drinks. So anyway, Famous or Mr. Kalima or whatever works works for Lazarus, which is a state-sponsored North Korean group that makes money for North Korea with fake employees. They use AI, they use stunt doubles, they use American Confederates, and whatever they need to do to be able to accept remote jobs in the U.S. and transfer that cold, hard crypto back home to dear leader. Now, the way they're doing this is they have a whole pile of accounts on GitHub that were spamming all the different repositories with recruitment announcements looking for .NET, Java, C#, Python, JavaScript, Ruby, Golang, blockchain, you name it, they need it. And that will get you to go, wow, I could be a Python engineer and make real money. And so then I apply, they contact me, basically explain the way this works. I'm not sure how that conversation actually goes. It's like, yes, we're an illegitimate foreign national, but we'd love to give you some money. Yeah, they also, for an even bigger portion of the pay, will if they can use your computer. Yeah. It's a good article about it. So I guess the point is, be sure you know who your employees are and that they're actually doing the job, and that it's not, now a third party doing the first party's job on the behalf of the second party or something like that. So basically, they even had on their site that they would coach you through the interview. So you could set up a separate link so that while you're interviewing for the job with, with eCorp, there's a person, I guess, on your headset going, this is how you answer that question, Doug. Let me tell you what you do. So how much could I make a week? I mean, just asking for a friend. CISA, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, warned that Chinese attackers are backdooring VMware vSphere servers using malware called Brickstorm. Wow, that was a lot to say. The report was issued in conjunction with Canada's Cybersecurity Center. Is that called the CCC? I don't know. But Brickstorm is this really fancy piece of malware that has multiple layers of encryption. It had they should make regular products using this. It's so good. They had multiple layers of encryption. It has a SOX proxy, so you can tunnel through the network and nobody can see what you're doing. It's got, and you can use that for lateral movement. It's got DNS over HTTPS to make it all very, very, very stealthy. Now, it includes a self-monitoring function so that it will reinstall itself or restart if anything tries to shut it down. So it's a very pernicious, not pernicious, as Lou would say, but pernicious piece of software. CISA reported a case where the attackers compromised a web server in the DMZ. Oh no, say it isn't so. But then apparently their DMZ wasn't really very DMZ at all, because if your DMZ is not set up correctly, it's not actually a DMZ, it's just in your network. And once they were in the DMZ, they were able to move laterally to an internal VMware vCenter server and deploy the malware there. Yeah. Boy, you got to love to see that, right? They went to all the trouble to set up a DMZ and then made it to the DMZ. We'll allow that access to anything. But anyway, they also focus on capturing Active Directory database information and all kinds of other credentials that I guess, then they got more ways to get in your network. CISA does have Yara rules and Sigma rules if you need them that will detect the backdoor traffic. And they advise that you block DNS over HTTPS providers and external traffic. Imagine that. Yeah, just don't. I don't care what you're using and whether or not you're going to, have Brickstorm on your network. You really should not be allowing this stuff to get into your enterprise network. Don't let people, DMZ computers, guys named Marco, or anybody, talk to your hypervisors without heavy filtering and authorization and, monitoring. But VMware users, be especially cautious, since that seems to be a big target. MCP. Model Context Protocol. You think Terminators are scary? Wait till you read about MCP. I mean, it's a new language, right? So that in and of itself can be scary. I mean, you remember when Python came out, but MCP was designed as a tool to allow agentic AI to access other things. And that is really scary all by itself. I mean, MCP is the language HAL's going to use to close the pod bay doors. RoboCop's going to use that to reload its arm cannon. R2-D2 is going to use that to hack the Death Star with a thing that looks a lot like a sonic screwdriver. Because why wouldn't you build that into your Death Star? Of course, it makes more sense than building a port you can shoot torpedoes through. But hey, whatever. Let's just keep making it worse. So here's a language that an AI agent can use to, I don't know, turn the thermostat up because it's really cold in here and Mrs. Marsh has been complaining to the AI again. I mean, so your AI says, oh, those poor employees, let's crank that up to 85 Fahrenheit. Yeah. I mean, now, and of course, we can add all kinds of mods to this as well and other libraries so that MCP can do whatever we want it to do and access whatever we want it to access, which means now not only is it a new language, it's a new language covered in mysterious boils that has just arrived at your gate. But we need AI, and we need it now. These autonomous butlers need to interface with the AI enhanced toaster over Bluetooth, and we need a Bluetooth stack to add to MCP so the AI butler can access the AI toaster. And yay, here's a tool called Mr. Sticky, and it was published by Gagmorts69 on GitHub. Sure, that'll work. So we got to get this update out by, well, it was supposed to be out this morning. 6 killed in Upper East Side toaster incident. The New York Times. Okay, I'll do the New York Post. Robo-toasted. AI butlers gone wild. 6 served extra crispy. Yeah, that's the New York Post headline. Local man says it's the end times. Toast falls right side up. Marmite tastes like strawberry ice cream, and they've made the models at Abercrombie put on shirts. Yeah. Anyway, OWASP did issue a secure usage guide for MCP, which you probably should get and read and use. And that could probably be a way to start your policy planning for add-ons to MCP, because you are going to use it, you are going to want it, and you are going to want to mod it, just like everything, because I don't know. So they recommend privilege assessment, zero trust, continuous monitoring. Well, makes sense to me. And those are all key things to ensuring that this server, which can literally allow access to the robotic sawmill or the viral handling bot or most anything else, to be actually somewhat secure. So as you adopt this stuff, ensure that you understand the risks, and that the risks on the risks and the risk from the risk from the risk from the anti-risks, and Augustus de Morgan, Gesundheit, play ball. Yeah. Last time I talked about India, and India's government passed a rule last week that would require all cell phone manufacturers to include a government app called Sanchar Sati on all new phones. I'm sorry about my pronunciation of that. I'm sure it's wrong. The original rule said that the app could not be modified or removed by the users or anyone else. Now, of course, within hours of this announcement that this rule had been passed, a firestorm erupted over privacy, government overreach, government threats, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Apple refused to comment on this, but has a standing policy that they will not do this, I guess, even to the point of they won't sell any phones in this massive mobile market. And shortly thereafter, a government minister tweeted that the app could be removed at any time, in clear contradiction to the rule that was just passed. You know, don't you love that? It sounds a lot like the US circus, right? It's like they announce a rule, another person immediately says, oh, you don't have to follow the rule. And then another person says, if you don't follow the rule, we're going to come down there with jackbooted thugs. Yeah. Well, anyway, by the 3rd of December, the government revoked the order. To be fair, I mean, I think sometimes people in government aren't as cynical as the rest of us, and they actually may mean well. I know. Yeah, right. Keep laughing. It's a comedy. Yeah. But this is a good example of something that technically meant well, but it was really, really sinister. I mean, a RoboCop sounds like a good idea on the surface, right? But maybe RoboCop 2 isn't so great. And by RoboCop 3, people just run screaming when they see a RoboCop or a RoboCop movie. But I mean, it's not like governments turn on their people ever, or petty tyrants try to target their enemies for political retribution, or, track down dissidents or anything. So this app supposedly is going to help with rampant phone theft and resale, which we've talked about, and me and Josh and Aaron talked about last week on that show. And it shows that the app can help. But it's kind of like my old example of putting cameras everywhere. It does lower crime, but when somebody abuses it because they're accessing a guy named Ken who works at that coffee shop on 41st Street, and they just kind of want to see, Ken and what's going on down there, and maybe have a few drinks and then head on over. Yeah, I mean, this was just so tone deaf, especially in the modern age. It's a closed source app developed by who knows what government agency. It's got root level access to your phone. So it means it can extract anything on your phone, including your pictures, your text, anything at all. It's controlled by some secret government agency. No opt out, no control. It's on your phone. Get over it. Yeah, I think this kind of thing is coming soon for all of us. So some of us may want to start planning to use Morse code or heliographs or something, because the Pandora's box on government phone monitoring is open. Angry government officials want something on your phone so they can see if you protested the celebration of St. Wiggins the Elder of Vespid Day, or you posted something making fun of the first minister's clothes and spray tan, and they want to have a drone strike hit you. So not a fan, but we should all keep an eye on this, because you may not be in India, but this isn't limited to India. Since it's East Asia Day here, we talked about several different East Asia groups. Two groups with ties to China are weaponizing a security flaw in the React server components. This happened within hours of the flaw being disclosed to the public, so they're obviously geared up and ready to go. Now, one of these vulnerabilities has a CVSS score of 10, and it's called React2Shell, which will basically allow the worst possible thing, unauthenticated remote code execution. So that's about as bad as it can get, right? And it has been patched, but the two attackers, Earth Lamia and Jackpot Panda, have been observed trying to exploit this flaw in the wild frantically. Jackpot Panda has been around since about 2020, and they primarily target third-party relationships to try and deploy supply chain attacks. So my guess is at least part of this is they want to get in so they can plant something and get out. Now, Earth Lamia has been tracked since 2023. They typically target Latin America, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. So both of these are well-established, serious groups, probably backed by, possibly Chinese government interest or whatever. The flaws in React involve a malicious HTTP request, and it was reported to Meta, who maintains React, on the 29th of November. They issued a patch on the 3rd of December. So they were pretty quick. Hopefully you were as quick in patching this, because React is an open source JavaScript library that is designed to create application UIs, and it's on millions of websites. I mean, maybe on yours you don't even know it. You should know it, but you may not. The NPM package has millions of weekly downloads, and Wiz reported that 39% of cloud environments contain vulnerable React instances, if you can imagine that. There are several references in the article that contain links to compromise detectors and so forth. So if you're concerned about this, you may want to check it out, especially if your DMZ is directly connected to everything in your company. But the vulnerability only affects version 19 of React, and it has been patched, but you got to patch it. So, you know what to do. I am going to bring this up here. I couldn't resist. I'm now about 9 months into my conversion. Not my conversion to Proxmox. What the hell were you thinking? That I was converting to like Druidism? Although I think that's what it says on my conscription papers I had to file with the government when I turned 18. I think I put Druid on there. They seem to have the best tombstone. I could convert to German. Hey, listen, Peter Kensi came over here in the 17th century. Maybe they'll have forgotten. They'll take me back. I don't know. Proxmox, it gets me. I'm converting to Proxmox. But, really, at first it was like, this isn't VMware. It's not vCenter on vSphere. No, but honestly, the open source alternative to, was all I had a choice to do. Once Broadcom told me I had to pay $250,000 a year, as opposed to $1,500 a year, which I've been paying for, 10 or 15 years. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine me asking for that budget? You know what Hydrox is? Yeah, it's a cheap knockoff of an Oreo. Yeah, that's what we got at school, Hydrox. And I mean, maybe over at the fancy school, they had Oreos, and the filling doesn't taste like ground hobo, ashes, and tears. But we got Hydrox, which tasted like all those things. Sorry, Hydrox. But Proxmox, it's great. Maybe they should hire me to stand out there by the Cosmopolitan in Vegas with a rack of pamphlets. Hey, brother, have you heard the word of Proxmox? It'll change your life and your checkbooks. Please, come on. But Proxmox just announced a new product called Data Center Manager, which is enabling the migration of VMs across clusters without having to do manual reconfiguration. That would be nice. I'm going to go get that product right away. So it sounds like Proxmox is working toward being, not just sort of an obscure open source option, but being a viable commercial option to VMware. So I don't know, maybe put it on your beta list and build a test to see what you think. I didn't have a choice. We had to do it because Broadcom basically sent Ralphie Cifaretto to explain how I was going to be paying $250,000 a year now, or I better leave town. But so far, for my limited usage of building weird student playgrounds and fake data sets, it's been great. And it's open source. The price is right. I mean, I don't know what the price is really for each individual because I'm not an attorney and I didn't read the agreement very much. But I mean, I really like the product. So there you go. Now, I wanted to mention this because it's a threat. It's not an active threat. It's a third-party threat to your organization that you may not have considered. So Meta, a few years ago, put out this product called Metaverse. Yeah, I haven't heard of it either. I mean, they spent a lot on this. And much like a previous virtual world, which was supposed to be the next big thing called Second Life, all of this was supposed to replace your real life with the opportunity to wander around idly in a virtual world where not much was happening except people seemed to be dancing or jumping or something. And, although my friend did make some money drawing virtual tattoos for virtual characters in Second Life, but I think all the money was in Second Life bucks or whatever that was called. And yeah, it wasn't worth much in the end. I mean, I just couldn't get into this stuff, right? It was this William Gibson idea of attending a virtual concert in a virtual club with a virtual band and getting virtual drunk on virtual double vodka and then virtually passing out in a puddle of virtual puke behind a virtual Madison Square Garden. It just wasn't quite the same experience, right? I mean, yeah, you didn't wake up and need to get a variety of tests to see what kind of, yeah, but I didn't get it. I tried it. I built some stuff in Second Life. It just didn't do anything for me or I even taught a class in Second Life once. We built a virtual classroom, had the students get accounts and come in and, it was like, I just didn't get what the point was, so everybody can have an avatar. Ooh, but anyway, the metaverse never quite took off either. So much like Second Life, which was supposed to be so incredible that people were literally paying millions of dollars for virtual Second Life real estate. I'm not making that up. There were stories about it. This was all supposed to change our lives. It was all going to be the next big thing. They had videos of Zuck, with an avatar that was like a skeleton or something. But it was just the opportunity to sit around with a giant view screen attached to your head and wander around this sort of vaguely boring metaverse. Didn't sound that interesting to me. I'm sure some of you found really cool uses for it. And of course, it was great for social engineering people, right? Sure, I'm a 14-year-old girl. Why not? Give me your credit card number. But I mean, Meta is supposedly going to cut funds for this multi-billion-dollar project. Now, they aren't canceling it. They made that clear. They're just redirecting the funds for it into wearable tech, which is government talk, right? For cutting your budget. No, we're not cutting your budget. We still believe this is very important. We're just going to redirect the funds into something else. Well, my point is, as you adopt components into your enterprise, whether it's VMware that gets bought by Broadcom or an F1 game getting bought by Electronic Arts or Metaverse getting funding cuts, how's that going to impact what you do with these embedded third-party components that you have no control over? It's a real threat vector. I mean, if you had embedded Metaverse in your business model, yeah, I'll wait for you to finish laughing. But I mean, what if you had? What if this became part of your customer service base that, customers go into this Metaverse thing? Because this was a pitch from Second Life a long time ago. Customers come in, they can see a cute avatar to talk to, and then they shut it down. I don't think they shut Second Life down, but what if they did? So as you add third-party dependency, be sure that you understand how that gets added to your threat model and the threat vectors that it generates. Now, someone who can't be contained in a single avatar, who is live with a hat from a secret party somewhere that is the place that everyone wanted to be today, but some of us didn't get our invites. It's Josh Marpet. Hey, Josh.
Hey, it is so nice to see you, Doug. I am having a very, very special story, incredibly close to my heart today. This is beyond fun. I am here with Kevin and Brittany Tackett at their wedding. They're sitting at their sweetheart table right now. And I just want to let them have a couple of words to explain what a wonderful day it is.
I will.
I think we should probably mention the Tackett name being new. But today is the day to celebrate us and what we have and what we hope everybody else gets. That sounds so egotistical and selfish.
I met Kevin a couple of years ago, and we instantly became best friends. And I think if you've ever met him or heard him speak or present, you know that you are just immediately entertained and excited to know that he exists in this world. And I can't wait to spend the rest of my life every day laughing and loving and having the best time. And I can also say that through Kevin, I have met some of my best friends, and I've had such wonderful experiences that today doesn't even cover it. Like today, as beautiful as this is here in Disney World, eating this food and hanging out with people like Josh Marpet doesn't cover it. It's so much more wonderful to actually live it than it is to do anything in life. Like, it's incredible. So yeah, we're having a good time.
So if you're not familiar with Kevin and Brittany, you should know that they run Secure Ideas, the professionally evil pen testing company. They are indeed InfoSec royalty. And we're very, very proud to be here. It's wonderful. John Strand from Black Hills is here. Zach and Sec Barbie are here from Urbane Security. And we've got Jay Beal from Enguardians, Jeff Mann, and Larry Pesci, who are co-hosts on Pulse Security Weekly. It's a wonderful, wonderful time. We're at the Living Seas. I'm going to give you a really quick view of the entire event. Real quick, hang on one second. We're at the Living Seas Aquarium, and honestly, we are having such a good time. It is so wonderful to be here today, and they are happy. Like, they're happier than they have any right to be. So we're going to have to tamp it down by getting them drunk. Yes. Doug, back to you, sir.
All right. Well, tell them Mazel Tov if they can. They can't. I don't know if they can hear me, but
they can't hear you. You're in my ears.
Well, you can tell them Mazel Tov from me and
Mazel Tov from Doug.
And congratulations, and I hope everybody has a good time. So thanks for reporting live from Disney, Josh, and taking your life in your hands, because if they catch you, man, it gets ugly.
Absolutely, Doug. Always a pleasure. Take care now.
Bye-bye. All right. Congratulations to everyone at the exciting event. A long time ago in a studio far, far away, it's not that far away, but there was a famous, maybe you've never been there, but there used to be a studio. It was called G Unit Studios, which is where Paul's Security Weekly was filmed from, and the Security Weekly News was filmed from for years and years and years. And in their bathroom, there was a sticker that said toilet camera for research purposes only. And yeah. So maybe this long-standing joke is not so much a joke. So Kohler, who makes sinks and toilets and, all kinds of porcelain things that you may or may not have been up close and personal with at some point in your life, it also makes you realize you're an adult when you go shopping for those kind of products, right? When we need to get a new toilet, and you have to go. I mean, they introduced a product called Decoda, Dekoda, in October. Now, what it is it a $600 toilet bowl attachment, not a toilet. It's a $600 toilet bowl attachment that has a $7 a month subscription that, according to their brochure, I'm going to read this to you, quote, optical sensors and validated machine learning algorithms for valuable insights into your health and wellness. I guess that sounds interesting. I mean, everybody wants to be healthy and well, right? It's basically a camera and a spectrometer that monitors your use of the toilet using optical sensors and spectroscopy to possibly detect substances like blood was mentioned, which would be bad, right? I mean, I don't care where it's coming from. Blood is always a bad thing. I mean, talk about the worst AI job in the world, right? This may be it. Well, I don't know. SexBot, probably worst AI job. Sorry, Pris. I know how that goes, but it's just tough. You don't want to be the sex replicant. But I guess if you want this, go for it. I mean, people pay outrageous amounts of money to go sit in oxygen tanks and all kinds of stuff. And now the concerns about this, besides the obvious, it says it uses E2EE, or, end-to-end encryption to protect you from disclosure of this activity. And I guess that supposedly implies that no one can snoop on your toilet cam for some reason. And I'm not going to even explore. I'm not even going to ask ChatGPT about that. I mean, I don't want to know, what this is. But so basically end-to-end encryption should theoretically mean that there's a secure link between your toilet cam and this AI agent that is reviewing your toilet cam. Now, that would say it's pretty well protected. But I mean, marketing, always used to say that email was end-to-end encrypted when that was a big thing. Like we encrypt when Zoom was going to be encrypted. But it really just means that it used a VPN, right? And when it hits the server on the other end, it's decrypted so that the AI agent could see it. So that maybe implies that somebody else might be able to access that server. I mean, I don't know how that server's secured. I don't know who's getting access to this stuff and so forth. And this is a real product. I checked. I was like, could this possibly be a joke or something? But I mean, I don't want it. Thank you. But you be you. I mean, I guess if they want to sponsor something, but ugh. So, I mean, I don't know how secure it is. Marketing always tells us that everything is really, really secure until it's not. And then corporate legal tells us that they're not liable. But I mean, will Kohler be protecting what they learn about you? And I don't mean just the prurient interest in this video, but I mean, what about the data that's being recovered from this? I mean, supposedly it's just some poor agentic AI bot watching this hell stream, but their own statement says that, quote, if a user consents optionally, Kohler may de-identify the data and use the data to train the AI that drives our product, which means there's at least a possibility that they decrypt it and look at it. So obviously it may not be true end-to-end encryption. I mean, if they can decrypt it by option, somebody could decrypt it without you optioning or opting in. So, I mean, I don't know if they can use the optical and spectroscopy on whatever is on this camera live. I mean, I don't know what they can tell about you, like your diet, that you ate a whole large chili, anchovy, jalapeno, and feta pizza last night from the footage. I mean, would that be valuable information to sell to a doctor? Probably, but it would probably be a lot more valuable to sell to your insurer, who would be like, oh, you told us you were a fitness nut when we wrote you this policy, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So, I mean, I'm going to pass on the toilet cam. I mean, if you want one, I'd wait on version 3, because then we'll know all about the bugs and the leaks and whatever else might be going on the toilet. Maybe version 4. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe version 50. Maybe version from my end. But that is the news. Thank you, Live Josh, in a foreign secret location. Actually, not foreign. Just seems foreign. But thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Doug White, and we'll see you next time on the Security Weekly News.